Hi Teso Tribe, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be showing you how to cut a pant trouser. Yes, it's a free pant to the length to the leg. So if it's what you want to see, then keep watching. I have about 3 yards of Ankara here, and I intend to make a two-piece, so I'm not using the whole 3 yards. However, it depends on you. I also have a armor curve, I have ruler, I have pins, I have a chalk, I have a tape measure for measurements. I have scissors, fabric scissors. Yeah, so let's get into it. The first thing I went ahead to do was to fold my Ankara into two, enough to cut the front part of my pant trouser, or do I call it a palazzo pant? Whatever it's called, you'll see the picture of what it looked like eventually. So it's going to have an elastic, sorry, a rope instead of an elastic. So it means that the waistline is going to be free. So I'm going to draw, a top line, as you can see, which is about half an inch. So I also like to press my outfits before, I start sewing. At every point, you guys, when you iron your fabrics while trying to cut and sew, it gives you this sweet, look and finish. It makes it look like really clean. Do you understand? So that's what I went ahead to do. Also, I went ahead to measure my hip divided by 4, and that should give me about 10.5. Then I went ahead to add 1.5 extra to that. So I marked that on the waistline. Then from my waist to my hip, I went ahead to measure 9 eventually. I think I went ahead to measure 9. And what's the calculation? You could do this basic calculation of your hip divided by 4 minus 1. So that was what I did. I made me measure 9 eventually. So that is 40. Actually, I wear 42, but 40 works fine. 40 divided by 4 is 10 minus 1, 9. So it still depends on, the body size and all, but that's the easiest way to get your waist to hip line. So after that, I went ahead to mark that and draw the same straight line horizontally. So as you can see in the video, just pay attention to the video. I also went ahead to mark, my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1.5 extra, like I marked on the waist. It means that whatever you're marking on the waist is what you're marking on the hip, since it's either going to have an elastic or a rope. It is not a zip trouser. If it's a trouser that needs a zip, then I have to put in my waist measurement, but this does not need that. I'm using a rope, and so what I have on the hip is what I should have on the waist, so that I can gather the rest, like soon drag. I also went ahead to mark my crouch length. I think I went down by 3 inches from my hip line. You can easily determine that by sitting upright on a chair and marking from your waist to the seat line, to where your bum rests on the seat. So that should give you between 10 to 12 or even more. Also, after marking that, I went ahead to measure the same 12 inches I had measured on the waistline and hip line horizontally. Then I came out and measured crouch length. I used 2.5. The easier way to measure that could be your hip divided by 4. When you get that, you also divide that answer by 4 again. That's it. If your hip is 40, you can divide by 4, making 10. Divide 10 by 4 again, gives you 2.5. So, but if the person is on a bigger side, depending on whatever you've divided, or the easier way, if the person is on a bigger side, maybe beyond the 40, you might want to use 3. So I went ahead to connect a curve from the crouch extension that I marked, the 2.5, and I connected it into the hip line. So it gives you this curve. So it's giving this trouser, crouch feel. After, I went ahead to mark my crouch to tie line, and for my crouch to tie line, I think I went down by about 4 or 4.5. It depends. That's a calculation for that. Maybe I would write it out. I can't really remember now. If in case you cannot determine that, you could use, but I used between 4 to 5. I'm not sure now. If you check the video, you probably remember. Then I went ahead to measure my round tie circumference, the fullest part of your tie. Mine was 26, I think, and so I went ahead to mark 26 divided by 2, which is 13. I'm not sure. I think I added an extra inch, making 14 to it. So I must have marked 14 there. And I connected it from the crotch line to the tie line. Also, I went ahead to measure the full length of my pant trouser, which was about 38, and then marked the same 14 at the hem of that trouser. But then I realized that I don't want it to look like totally straight. I wanted it to, be a little bit pencil at the hem. So I went in by 1 inch. That is, I marked the thing on the, hem of the trouser. And then the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is to connect that line from the thigh circumference. Okay, I was trying to determine the length here, which I think I marked 38. So I went ahead to draw a straight line on the thigh circumference, on the hem of my trouser. Then from there, I'd marked 13 inches. I decided not to go with the 14 inches I took on my tie line for the hem. So take your desired width for the hem of your trouser. You could maintain what you have from up, making it look like a straight baggy palazzo, or you could go in to give it this pencil effect, or if you want it broader, you could extend it. It just depends on the vibe you want. So I'm just trying to make sure that I drew my line perfectly. After that, I've gone ahead to connect the points from the hem of the trouser to meet the point on the tie line. So, and if you can look at it very well, you see that our trouser is all ready and it looks really clean. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is to cut on what you've drawn. Hello? Yes? For what? Me mọ nǹkan tẹ́ padà mú now. Which material? I'm working. Which material? Like I'm recording. Tweed. How much is it? I think you'll be needing like 2.5. I don't know how much they said it. 2.5. Three no bad. Ní ìmọye tó ó tó ìmọye tó ń tà. So sorry about that. Go ahead and cut. I'm going to go ahead and cut all the lines that I've marked out. So, and then because it was on fold, I have to open up the trouser at that end. So it gives me 2 pieces for the front. Just trying to confirm if my crotch measurement was enough, it was accurate. That was what I was trying to confirm there. After, I'm going to set that aside and go over to the back. I've gone ahead to fold my back, what is sufficient to cut the back. And I'm going ahead to press it. I love pressing my outfit before I cut. If there is light, I would press my outfit at every point. So the next thing I went ahead to do was press this outfit very well. Ensure that whatever you're taking for the back has to be bigger than the front. And when I say bigger, for me, I needed it to be at least 3 inches bigger or wider than the front. So how do you determine that? Whatever you have on the crouch line of the front, make sure you have additional 3 inches folded for the back. So let's say I had 13 for my crotch line, because the crotch line is the widest part of my front trouser. That means for the back, I must have at least 16 inches folded into 2. That makes it 32 in total. So go ahead and fold this properly, and then afterwards, I've gone ahead to place the front piece on the back, you know. So pay attention to this. This is what I'm going to go ahead and do. On the crotch line, I'm coming out by 2 more inches. You could use 2.5, you could use 3, depends. But I'm coming out by 2 more inches on the crotch line. If you are not sure that the fabric is not going to slip off or dance around, pin it. I like to pin to put things in place, like you can see me doing in this video. So use your pins to hold down the pieces together. You don't want them looking funny. Afterwards, come to the crotch line. On my crotch line, I'm taking out 2 on the crotch line exactly, marking out 2 for the back piece and extending it so I don't get confused. Also, on the hip line, I'm coming out by 1.5. It's just my preference. Some people will do 2. I came out by 1.5. On the waistline, I came out by 1.5. Sometimes I even do 1. It depends. If it's a fitted pant, I'm probably going to do 1 on those areas. Then every other place aside the crouch line, I came out by 1.5. After that, the next thing I'm going to proceed to do is to connect those marks. Connect them. If you're not sure your hand could connect properly, especially the parts that are curvy, please use the desired curved rulers you have to get those shapes correctly. You don't want them looking funny. Like I always say, if you do not sketch out properly, it could give your overall outfit a funny look. So in case you think your hand can't do certain things well, get the preferred tools for those things to get it done accurately. Like you can see me doing. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the marked out pattern for the back piece. So pay very close attention to it. Sorry, I was blocking the cutting process in this point. I didn't pay attention to that. I wasn't aware. So next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and open the back piece because it was also cut on fold. So I need to open it up so you can also have 2 pieces like the front. So if you want to see the sewing aspect of this trouser, I think I have a video on that. Please let me know if you want me to upload that. Thank you for watching. I look forward to your questions, comments, reviews, feedback, everything in the comment section. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and let me know what other videos you want me to film or put out here. But till then, bye.